Alright, hey everybody, today we're going to be doing a little tutorial on Morrowind console commands, and this is for the beginner. Nothing too complicated, just some of the more popular
What assistance do you need?
common console commands. So, a few things to know is this is being recorded in OpenMW, but these console commands should be pretty universal. I've seen other people using these same commands on older YouTube videos. The oldest, or rather most recent video I could find explaining this was like from 15 years ago. So it's just something that I'm gonna make as a reference to myself
You have something
and anyone
to
else
say.
that wants to reference. So another thing to note is allegedly these are not case sensitive. I've always typed them in as case sensitive, but I'll do both in the tutorial so you can see both. You want to press the squiggly line. There's a technical name, I don't know what it is, but it's next to the number 1 on your keyboard. So you press that line and this comes up. As you can see, I've already been typing in code. So all of this right here is because I've already been messing around with console commands before I started the video. So when you open up the console the first time, this will be blank. This box right here. We're going to start with the easiest command, which is a location command. As you can see, I'm in the starting town of Satanine. I actually brought myself here with the code. So you want to put COC space quotation and where you want to go. So let's say I want to go to Vivek. Just be mindful that it'll just kind of put you off wherever. It's not going to put you off at the front of the city most of the time. So when you want to open the console command, squiggly line, you want to close it, press the same button. So if you want to go somewhere specifically in a city, it's going to be pretty much the same. All you're going to do is put a comma, space, and the name of the location. See, now I'm inside the High Fame Temple.
Speak your needs.
And one thing I have noticed that I have not seen anyone else mention is every single time that I've done this, the name on the door is the console command. So if I look at this name, it's Vivek High Fame. Well, that's the same command that you would type in to come here. So if you're ever wondering what the console command for a location is, it's usually on the door. For example, if I type in Sadrith Mora, Tel Naga, which is Master Nalon's tower, that's not found because that's not the name on the door to Tel Naga. The actual name on the door to Tel Naga is Sadrith Mora, Tel Naga. Make sure you keep your spaces. Great Hall. So here we are. Sadrith Mora, Tel Naga, Great Hall. So the name on the door is what the console command is. I can't say this is 100% accurate for all locations in the whole game, but every location that I have tried, this rings true. We'll do one more, just so you can see. We're gonna go to COC, Nisus, comma, Ars Droyument. This one's tricky because it's got a dash in it, so it's going to be exactly as it appears on the door. So if it has a dash, put the dash in. So simple and easy. Alright, so now that we're done locations, we're going to be doing join faction. So we're in a different location.
I could kill that Guar. Those boots are ruined.
I'm going to show you how to join a faction. So what you want to do is do player, PC join faction, space, quotation mark, and then the faction ID, which is just going to be whatever faction you're interested in. So let's say Telbani. If you don't get any red, like this up here error, then you've done it fine. So there's nothing underneath here, so it worked. So if I go to my stats menu, you see that I am a hireling for Great House Tamani. So I'm going to show you another one real quick. If you have one that has a space, you're going to put the space in. Morag Talk. So now I go back to my menu. I am in the Morag Talk. So if you want to raise your rank, it's going to be similar. Player, PC raise rank, and then the faction. I'll do it a couple times. If you want to level up multiple times, you have to type this in multiple times. So I'll do it 3 times and see. And you can see I made a little typo. You don't want to leave out the caret. If you leave out the caret, like I just did, it will not compute. You can see I'm a lawman now. But what's interesting about that is it doesn't change the options here, over here in the dialog box. But the disposition for the character does go up. And it won't automatically unlock any quests associated with that rank. So if you want to lower the rank, it's going to be the same thing. PC, lower rank, and then the faction. I have a document that I made to make this video that I'll share with you. It's going to be in the description. And there will be a link to a forum post that lists all of the factions and their IDs. You see now I leveled down to both ways. So you can do that as much as you want, but it doesn't automatically unlock the quests associated with those ranks. Right now that we've done locations and factions, we're going to do potions. Now potions are a little tricky. As you can see, I was messing up repeatedly just a minute ago. So this is something you gotta pay attention. Make sure you do everything exactly. So you're gonna use a add item command. So player -caret add item space quotation mark and then the potion ID. So every potion is gonna have its own ID. The document below will have a link to a page that has all the potion IDs. So P for potion underscore levitation underscore V quotation space how many you want. So if you don't put a number in here, it won't compute. So 5. And that just gave me 5 bargain rising force potions. I already had some, so it went up to 7. But again, add item space quotation P for potion underscore levitation underscore, and you can pick a letter here based on what type of potion you want. B for bargain, C for cheap, S for standard, Q for quality, E for exclusive. There we go. One more thing. If you want to do a potion with more than one word in its name, it's going to be a little different. So for example, cure blight, cure underscore blight underscore S quotation number. Pretty easy once you know what to do, but you have to know the ID. So check the document description for all the IDs. Alright, so after spells, or rather after potions, we're going to do spells. So to do a spell, you're going to do player again, player -caret add spell space and then the name of the spell. in quotations. So I did burden, and I go in my spell list, and burden is there. So again, player, dash carrot, and spell. And as you can see, it is not case sensitive. Cure poison in quotations. There we go. Make sure you do a space here instead of an underscore or anything like that. The document in the description will have a link to all of the spells in the game, so you can find the spell IDs. Right, now that we've done spells, we're going to do armor and items, which is similar to potions in that you're going to do player, dash carrot, add item, and then the item ID, and then number of the item that you want. For example, iron dagger in quotation marks. And then how many I want? Let's say I want 4. Now I have 4 iron dagger. We'll do a couple more examples. You want to do spaces and not underscores or anything like that within the item ID, unless it calls for it. Because there are some select items that will call for that, but many items will not. The document below will link you to a page that will show you all the IDs. So I have 2 staff apiece now, and now I'm going to show you one where you do need some underscores. This one's a little tricky. This is for Danger Skin. And be careful with this right here, this O1, that is not the numerical value of how many you will get. So I still need to close it out with a quotation mark and tell the console how many I want. So now I have 3 Danger Skin. Alright, one more example, which will be a very popular one. Player, add item, quotation, gold, underscore 001, close out the quotation. How much gold I want. Let's say 4,000. So now I have 4,000 gold. Right now that we've done items, we're going to do how to level up. So you're going to come into the console and type in enable level up menu, no spaces, and then I will level up. And every time you want to level up, you're going to do that. So one more time, enable level up menu, and level up. If you want to set your max health, magicka, or fatigue, you're going to do player, dash carrot, set, and then whatever you want. Don't put a space between set and what you want. So set health, space, and then the numerical value. So 100. Let's say I want 100 for all of these. Oops, forgot set. Don't forget set. Magicka, 100, player, set, fatigue, 100. And then we're going to go into our menu. You'll see these are all 100. Skills are going to be the same thing. So watch my skills down here go up when I type the console command. So set, block, 100, player, set, medium armor, no space, 100. It's the same thing for both health, magic, fatigue, and skills. Set, long blade, no space, 100. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to do God mode. So God mode just makes you invincible to most things. So if you want to toggle God mode on, you're going to type in God, toggle God mode on, and then when you want to turn it on, want to do the same command again, toggle GodMode, and then it'll be off. The next two you want to be careful with, and these are change character class and burst time menu. These will actually take you back to level 1 when you do it. So see that I'm currently level 3. So when I put in enable class menu to change my class, it actually brings up the burst time menu as well. So once I change these, I actually revert back to level 1, and all of these spells and items that I have are gone. So it completely resets your character. So enable level up. I'll show you the burst time menu as well. So I'm leveling up. And I go back to the menu, and I type in enable birth menu, and it skips over the class menu and just takes me straight here. And I revert back to default. So anything in your inventory, including spells and items, will be wiped, and you'll go back to default. Alright, now we're going to do a console command to set a disposition for an NPC. So if I want to raise my disposition with NPC, for example, I have 57 as ballot as. If I want to raise that to 100, I'm going to open up the console. I want the NPC's name and quotation marks exactly as it appears above their head. See, this is his name, his full name. So we want Baladas Demnevani. Close out the quotations. Put dash caret. Set disposition. Space, and then the numerical value you want. So 100. So now my disposition with Baladas is 100. So you look at their name, type it in everything that is included in their name. Set disposition, space, numerical value. Alright, last but not least, we're going to be doing quests. Now, quests are a little different. You can get a little tricky because you might need to use multiple commands to get the desired outcome. But for updating the journal, you're going to need two different things. You're going to need the quest ID and the quest stage. So the quest stage is the progress that you're making in the quest. So if you want to start a quest, you're going to put 10 most of the time. 10 usually signifies the start of a quest. There are some exceptions to this, and we'll look at that a little later on. But you can always check the UESP unofficial Elder Scrolls pages to see what the quest ID is and what the stages are. And this is the same for Skyrim as well. So if you want to end a quest, that would be 100 most of the time. That would have you completing the quest. So we're going to start a quest by putting journal, comma, space, quotation mark, HT underscore, Baladas ally. So this is House Devani, Baladas ally, comma, outside the quotation mark, space, 10. My journal's been updated. Out the journal. Here's the journal. Master Arian asked me to speak with Baladas. So I have triggered the beginning of this quest. What's tricky about that is if I talk to Arian, who gives you the quest, there's no dialogue associated with that quest because it's actually locked behind being a member of that faction. So if I ask him, he's looking at me like I'm not a member of the faction, which I am not according to the console. So I may have to use player, PC, join faction, Tavani. Now I have added myself to the Tavani faction, and when I talk to Arian, the dialogue associated with the quest triggers. So you might have to do that if you want to see the associated dialogue. So now if I want to finish the quest, I go back, I do journal, comma, space, quotation, HT underscore ballad as ally, again, comma at the end, outside of the quotation marks, 100. Master Aryan made me his mouth and gave me a gift. Another tricky thing. If you do this, you will not get the gift, or the reward, the physical reward associated with the quest. So you might have to use another console command to give you that reward, which I did the Staff of Peace earlier, so you can go back to that part of the video if you want the ID for Staff of Peace. Alright, now that we've done a basic quest, we're going to do a quest within a quest, which is a little trickier. Because sometimes you'll have an overarching quest, and it'll have concurrent quests
There is
underneath
someone
it, sort of
watching
like
me.
an
I can
umbrella.
tell.
So you can finish the overarching quest with console commands, or you can finish individual quests underneath that umbrella. So we're going to start with, probably the best example of this would be the Hortator quest, if that's how you say it. Part of the main quest, where you have to convince each great house to make you their Hortator. So every council person has their own quest ID and quest stage values. And they don't start at 10 and end at 100 like a typical quest. So I'll show you an example. We'll go to journal. Same command. A different quest ID. We're going to go B7 underscore Aryan Hort. Quotation, comma on the outside. And for Aryan's section of the House Divine Hortator quest, his numerical quest stage values are 5, 40, 50, and 55. So 5 marks the start of the quest, 55 is the end. Each counselor has different numerical values assigned to them, so just check the quest IDs for those values. So I'm going to go with 40 and see what it says in my journal. Master Aryan told me to kill Master Gotham. So this is quest stage 40. 55 will end it. So if we go back, go to your journal, B7 underscore Aryan Hort, comma, on the outside 55. So he has supported me in my bid to be Hortator. So this is the dialogue that you get when you complete his portion of the overarching quest. But the section of the quest that talks about Archmaster Gotham is actually a separate quest with a separate ID. So this one is actually a little tricky as well. So we go back to journal and we type in the ID, which is HT Archmagister. And this one's 10 or 100. Like a typical, oops, don't press that. It's okay if you press it, but just don't mess with any of that. I don't even really know what it is, but Master R explained to me how to become Archmagister of House Tabani, which is separate, but it overlaps with the Hortator quest because you have to kill Gothram either way, whether or not you're part of House Tabani. But since we are part of House Tabani, we can trigger this quest to become Archmagister. I must challenge Archmagister and defeat him. So this is a quest that would typically remove an NPC from the game. But if you use console commands, you will actually not remove him from the game, and I'll show you. You can use a different command to take NPCs out of the game. I haven't included that one in this video, but it's easy enough to find. Let's see, don't forget your combo on the outside. 100. I am now Archmagister of House Devani, so the console is seeing that I've completed that quest for the Archmagister. But if I go to Gothrin's location, and as you can see, just a reminder, that's the name on the door. So that's the name I put
I've heard
into
a lot
the
about
console.
you, Outlander. Go ahead.
And I come up here, he is very much still alive. So it's a separate command if you want
Wealth
to remove
beyond
him
measure,
from the
Outlander.
game. But the console sees me as having defeated him. So you can leave him there, kill him, do whatever you want. But again, location on the door. So I'm going to go back to Telboss and show you the final
Hail! You may speak.
type of quest. So earlier we talked about the overarching quest and the compart quest underneath that umbrella. So if we want to finish the overarching Tavani Hortator quest, we have a couple different options. So we open up the console command again. We type in B7 Tavani Hort. Close it out. We have 3 different options. We have 50, 60, or 70. 50 triggers after you have convinced all the counselors. 60 triggers if you're the only living counselor member of House Savani. So if all the counselors of House Savani are dead for whatever reason, that will trigger that quest stage. 70 triggers if you're given the robes of the Hortator. So I'm gonna do 70. The journal's been updated. Master Aryan gave me the robe of the Hortator and heirloom. But if I go in my inventory, I do not have it. So completing the quest with console does not give you the item. So I have to come back here and I will give myself that item. So it'll be add item. And this one is Hortator robe. And tell it how many. And now I have the robe of the Hortator. Everybody, so that is an overview of some very basic Morrowind console commands. This is by no means all of the console commands you can do, but it is a very basic overview of some common ones. These are good for if you are modding and you need to check something quickly. For example, I have a mod you might have noticed that changes the robes of the Telvanni Council members. So when I installed that mod, I used these console commands to make sure the mod functioned properly. So I can just go straight to the place and do what I need
Speak
to
freely,
do.
friend.
And I would recommend that you create separate saves for this, just in case something happens. I actually have a whole separate character save file that I use to do console commands and mods. So you can just get around very quickly. See, this is my Tavani robe mod. So all the masters have different robes. So these are very basic cheats. That's what they used to call them back in the day. Cheats and just shortcuts and things that can help you if you're modding or you just don't feel like doing something. But it can get a little convoluted, like I showed you earlier. So I've created a document that I used to make this video, and I will share it with you. So the link to that document will be below. And I hope this is helpful, and if you want a follow-up to this, you can let me know. But this is very basic.
Where is that slave?
Very basic commands. Nothing too complicated, but there are very much a variety of commands, and it can get very complicated. But so yeah, that's about all. Hope you enjoyed, hope you found it helpful, and thanks for watching. See ya.